I chose this movement of raising of a fist in the air because athletes often do this in times of victory. People also raise their fists in acts of protest. I like this movement because it both shows a feeling of accomplishment as well as power. I was surprised to learn how many bones and muscles are involved in making a fist. 30 bones participate in making a fist and 19 muscles. Let's start with the bones involved in making the fist. Starting proximally and moving distally, the bones involved are the humerus, which has the upper connection at the scapula and connects the radius and ulna. The radius and ulna articulate with the 8 wrist bones, known as the carpals. The carpals articulate with their nearest neighbors, as well as with the 5 metacarpals, which are the hand bones. The metacarpals articulate at the distal end with the proximal phalanges or finger bones. The thumb has only 2 phalanges, proximal and distal, while the other 4 fingers have proximal, middle, and distal phalanges. On this slide, you can see a close-up of the carpals as well as the metacarpals and phalanges. It is easy to see the articulations between the carpals bones as well as with the carpals to the metacarpals. These next 2 slides summarize the bones involved with their articulations. Feel free to pause this video and take a look at these in greater detail. The muscles used to make a fist include muscles that start on the upper arm and forearm and end via tendons on the hands or fingers. This is the flexor digitorum superficialis. Its action is to flex the fingers except for the thumb. This is the flexor digitorum profundus to your right, which means deep. Its action is to flex the fingers except for the thumb. This muscle also flexes the hand at the wrist if it's not countered by a hand extensor. When making a fist, these muscles will be contracted. On these slides, when a muscle turns pink, that means the muscle is contracted when making a fist. If the muscle turns green, the muscle is relaxed. Next is the extensor carpi radialis brevis. Its action is to extend the wrist, and this is the hand extensor that opposes the action of the flexor digitorum profundus. When making a fist, this muscle will be contracted if the wrist is straight, as it would be in a victory salute. Let me show you what I mean. Here is the side view of someone making a fist. If the extensor carpi radialis brevis is relaxed, as it is here, the tension exerted by the flexor digitorum profundus will pull the wrist into flexion. If, however, the extensor carpi radialis brevis is contracted, as it is here, the wrist is straight rather than flexed. This is what you want for a victory salute. These are the extrinsic finger extensors. The extensor digitorum extends all the 4 fingers. The extensor indicis extends the index finger, while the extensor digiti minimi extends the pinky finger. When making a fist, these muscles would all be relaxed. These are the extrinsic thumb muscles: the flexor pollicis longus, extensor pollicis longus, and the extensor pollicis brevis. Their actions are to flex and extend the thumb, as their names suggest. Making a fist, the flexor muscles would be contracted and the 2 extensors would be relaxed. These are intrinsic muscles of the thumb and little finger. The opponent's digiti minimi and opponent's pollicis bring the little finger and thumb in opposition to the other fingers, although the little finger is much more limited in this than the thumb. The center picture illustrates the flexor digiti minimi brevis and the flexor pollicis brevis, which flex the thumb and little finger. It also illustrates the abductor digiti minimi and the abductor pollicis brevis, which abducts the little finger and thumb. The third image illustrates the adductor pollicis, which adducts the thumb towards the hand. When making a fist, the opponent's digiti minimi is relaxed, while the opponent's pollicis is contracted. The flexors are contracted and the adductors relaxed, as seen in the middle picture. The adductor pollicis is contracted when making a fist. The last group of muscles are the intrinsic muscles of the hand: palmar interossi adductor, the thumb, index finger, ring finger, and pinky finger centrally towards the middle finger. The dorsal interossi have the opposite action, abducting these fingers away from the center. The lumbricals flex the second through fifth fingers at their joints with the metacarpals. The palmar interossi and the lumbricals are contracted and the dorsal interossi are relaxed when making a fist. The tables on these slides summarize the muscles involved in making a fist, their actions, and the origins and insertions of each. Feel free to pause this at any time and look at this in greater detail. I thought I was taking a relatively simple action to demonstrate and was amazed to find how complicated even that simple action was. I hope I get top marks for this project and you'll see me raising my fist in a victory salute. Here are the references for this presentation. I would like to acknowledge here the generosity of the University of Washington Medical Center Radiology Department in granting permission for the use of these copyrighted images in this presentation.